Tanzania, located in Southeast Africa, is well on its way to reaching many of the Millennial Developmental Goals. The European Union is a major aid donor to Tanzania, supporting both the national budget and specific development projects. Tim Clark is the head of the EU in Tanzania. Tanzania benefited with 32 million euros allocated both in the form of budget support and through different projects implemented in various regions of the country. These projects have supported a number of measures to improve access to agricultural inputs and services, safety net measures to maintain or increase agricultural production capacity, and help meet the basic food needs of the most vulnerable populations. The EU has been supporting the agricultural sector in Tanzania for many years. Poverty in Tanzania. The population living on less than $1 a day is 58%. The population living on less than $2 a day is 90%. Generally, poverty is a result of many and often mutually reinforcing factors, including lack of productive resources to generate material wealth, illiteracy, prevalence of diseases, natural calamities such as floods, drought, and man-made calamities such as wars. Poverty remains predominantly a rural phenomenon, although the number of poor in urban areas, mainly the unemployed and those engaged in the informal sector, is growing fast. In both rural and urban areas, the poor typically lack capital and human assets. They are less educated, of ill health, and have large families. To resolve this problem, Tanzania has taken steps to create locations for clean water sources and trainings on how to properly cultivate their farmlands. The Sesame Marketing Project. Rising food prices continue to make life difficult for farmers living in the Babati district. Farmers who survive by growing cash crops such as sunflowers, maize, cotton, and sesame have been unable to earn enough money from their crops to buy food and household goods. Sesame is well suited to dry conditions, and it even adds nutrients to the soil so it helps the performance of other crops. Thanks to the high national and international demand, it can be sold for a good price at market. Farm Africa's Sesame Marketing Project addresses the key problems faced by farmers in this division by helping them to grow a bigger, higher quality sesame crop, as well as connecting them to suitable markets for their crop and help them to set up bulk storage facilities. As you can see from the chart, Tanzania is well on its way to achieving this Millennial Developmental Goal. Universal primary education. The literacy rate for young females is 76%. For young males, it is 79%. Primary school attendance is 73%. It is through quality education Tanzania will be able to create a strong and competitive economy which can effectively cope with the challenges of development. The net enrollment rate in Tanzania has improved considerably over the past 6 years, going from 58% in 2000 to 96% in 2006. The pass rate of students completing primary education assessed through the primary school leaving examinations has significantly improved. Over the past 6 years, the pass rate has improved significantly, going from 22% to 61% in just 6 years. Tanzania's shoddy showing in the report's gender gap index is largely due to poor representation in lawmaking, senior public positions, government, and corporate sector. The WEF Global Gender Gap 2011 report shows that the country is mostly let down and scores the least marks in the ranking of having had a female head of state in the last 50 years. Tanzania has managed to close the gender gap by 26%. The scores for women in parliament and women in ministerial positions are 0.56 and 0.36, and their respective ranking in these two areas for Tanzania in the world are positions 15 and 31. Tanzania has managed to reduce inequality between men and women by over 60% in all variables except on legislators. Tanzania has also managed to close the gender gap in the number of professional workers by 61%. Mortality infant rate is 76 per 1,000 births. Most child deaths are due to malaria, pneumonia, diarrhea, malnutrition, and complications of low birth weight. Infant mortality declined from 115 in 1990 to 68 in 2004 and further to 51 in 2010. The most significant contribution to the reduction of under 5 mortality is improved control measures of malaria, acute respiratory infections, diarrhea, improved personal hygiene, and environmental sanitation areas. In rural areas, only 42% of mothers deliver at health facilities compared to 82% in urban areas. Infants born in rural areas have 30% higher probability of dying before completing their first birthday than those born in urban areas. Children receiving immunizations for polio are 88%. Immunizations for measles is 91%. The proportion of children vaccinated against measles increased from 80% in 2005 to 85% in 2010. More children increasingly sleep under nets, from 21% in 99 to 36% in 04 and 64% in 2010. The main challenges in health services delivery include underfunding, which affects especially physical infrastructure and procurement of equipment and instruments, unavailability of drugs and care, all times of need, and inadequate human resource base. Others are medical technology is changing rapidly while the coping mechanism is not yet in place. Total population ages 15 through 49, 5.6% have AIDS. Benjamin William HIV/AIDS Foundation has continued to support the government in improving health services in the country. 33 rural districts profited from the provisions of 99 health professionals. 176 healthcare workers were recruited to 19 districts to improve HIV/AIDS services. In August of 2011, the Foundation signed an agreement from May 2012 to March 2013 to implement a global health strengthening project. The Foundation will focus on 70 districts. Its aims are to improve the issues of HIV, TB, and malaria. More healthcare workers will be recruited, and grants will be offered to students in the country to join and help.